Hey bro, did you ever switch over to that LG OLED C2 TV, man, I was telling you about? Nah, I ain't switched over to that yet. Hey look y'all, he don't know I'm working on building something else. So you just gonna be stubborn and stay with that old LCD TV? I mean, I saw it and it looked fire. Hey look, let me borrow yours and I'll give it back. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Give me a second. Find what? That note I was looking for, because you know how people don't be giving stuff back, but hey, look, you can come over and check it out. See, man, I thought we was cool. Yeah, we are. We just not that cool. But anyway, man, I got these people waiting on me to tell them about the best gaming settings that they can get on their LG C2, like some settings that they need to change like ASAP. But I'm gonna holler at you a little later, man, and make sure you go ahead and switch on over to the OLED life, man, and stop playing. All right, I'm gonna be over there a little later to check it out. You better answer the door. All right, peace.
Accessing.
What up, squad? So this $950 OLED C2 TV that you guys see here right behind me is still by far my favorite OLED monitor that's on the market right now for gaming that I've personally experienced. Although I do got my eyes on that 45-inch OLED curved monitor from LG that's pumping out a crazy 240 hertz just goodness of refresh rate. I mean, LG, what's up, man? Hit your boy up. Let me know. I'm trying to get my hands on one of those. Already got the C3 coming here in-house that's gonna be here today, so definitely make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. Today, specifically, I wanna talk about some of the best settings that you guys can set for your LG monitor here that you guys need to set, whether you guys are Xbox gang or whether you PS5 gang. You know, I got love for both of y'all. But before we actually get too deep into all of that, y'all already know I'm gonna say it. I need you to comment down below. I need the squad right now. Comment down below right now how many likes is on this video at the time you guys are watching it. And let's go ahead and run this bad boy up because we hitting that 100K mark soon this year, y'all. So definitely make sure you guys keep supporting, keep liking, keep commenting, all of that down below. So let's get it. All right, so the first thing you guys need to do is when you're setting up your PS5 or your Xbox Series S or your X is set up the TV HDR picture mode into Game Optimizer, because this is going to give you guys the best gaming latency out of all the picture modes on your TV. Plus, it's going to also give you access to a gaming specific menu that you can only access in this picture mode. Press and hold on the settings button on your remote control to get to the settings menu. Then you want to go ahead and go to picture and then select the mode Game Optimizer. Then after you've done that, next thing you want to do before we get into some of these advanced features and stuff that I want to show you guys is you want to set your TV sound to Game Optimizer as well. But I need you to know there's two parts to this, so listen up. Now, before we actually get more into the TV settings on your PS5, there's one bonus step that I need you guys to do in order to make sure your sound is set up perfectly for your specific room. Now, on your PS5, I need you guys to go to settings, go to sound and 3D audio for TV speakers, turn on enable 3D audio for TV speakers. Now, before we actually click on this whole measure room acoustics using TV speakers option, you need to make sure that your TV volume is set to a decent volume. So let's go ahead and set it to somewhere around, I don't know, like 25 or 30% volume level, right? Now, next we want to go ahead and click on measure room acoustics using TV speakers. Click on next and then click on start measurement. Now, this is going to use your gaming console and the microphone on your gaming controller to be able to calibrate your TV speakers with your gaming console to make sure that you have the best audio experience from your gaming console. All right, so now that you pretty much got all of the picture modes and everything like that set up, you got your audio set up and you're ready to go with that, let's go ahead and deep dive a little bit more into some of the advanced stuff that's going to get you guys the most out of your gaming experience when it comes to this monitor or this TV. So let's go ahead and head on over here and let's get everything set up. Oh, all right, so we in the, I guess the living room area of my studio here. So I'm gonna show you guys the new menu option that's gonna populate up here on the screen. So if we go ahead and press the settings button here on our remote control, you can now see this whole new gaming mode option, which I personally think looks kind of dope. Now, we can see here we got our frames per second, we got our resolution, we got our different gaming genres, we got our HDR mode, we got our low latency, dark room mode, multi-view, which multi-view is kind of dope because what it's gonna do is it gives you the option to be able to have a split screen either side by side or you can have it in a picture-in-picture mode. And basically, let's say, for example, you playing a game like God of War that I got to right up here on the screen, right? And let's say you stuck on a part and you want to go ahead and YouTube some stuff. You can have YouTube populate up and have the game playing side by side, and that way you can follow the tutorial or the walkthrough and then still play the game, and then that way you won't skip a beat, which I think is a really dope feature. And then another thing we got here, we got our game optimizer and our all settings. So the one thing that I want to show you here is I want to show you real quick how to customize this, because this might look a little different than yours as far as some of the things that I have here up top. Now, if we can click on this little edit button right here, this is going to take you into the edit game dashboard, right? So now we can see I can change out some of the things here. I can change out HDR. So let's say, for example, I want to put my input lag up here. I can just tap on that, press save, and now I can put my input lag right up here on the screen if that's something that I wanted to have there, right? The next thing I want to show you here, let's go ahead and go into game optimizer. Now, this is going to break down every single thing here in regards to the game quality as well as the picture quality. So let's go ahead and start on the game. Now, as far as the game genre, you do have the ability to change this based on the type of game that you're playing. So for example, if I'm playing a game like God of War, I probably want to switch this to a role-playing game just because it's going to give us the best optimized settings for that specific type of game genre, right? So if I'm playing a game like Call of Duty, then I want to switch it to first-person shooter, or RTS if I'm playing a certain style of game, or if I'm playing Madden, or if I'm getting down on some FIFA, then I can go ahead and switch it over to sports. So you do have that option. So depending on the style of game is this type of game genre you want to switch it to. I recommend do not keep it on standard, just because standard is going to give you that standard level quality, and that's not what we want. We want that high goodness. Now the next thing here, if you guys have it enabled, if I'm playing a game like Call of Duty or something like this, I personally recommend having OLED motion turned off. So the next thing we got here is reduce blue light. Now for me, I recommend you guys turn this off, because this is going to adjust the color temperature to reduce eye strain. Now for me, if I'm playing a game like Call of Duty, God of War, Uncharted, or any type of game like that, Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't want the screen to just be changing the color temperature from what the developers had it as. I want it to be exactly what the developers set the temperatures to be. So for me, if I'm getting like eye strain, then I would rather just turn the machine on versus having my screen just constantly just changing color temperatures, and it's just not gonna look good. So 100% definitely turn off reduce blue light. Now the next thing we got here is dark room mode. Now you got three different options here. You got off, you got level 1, which is gonna dim it a little bit, and then you also got level 2, which is gonna dim it even more. Now for me, I personally like to keep mine set to off, because I want to be able to determine what's considered a dark room, because in my room I can actually adjust each individual light to be turned to a lower setting in here, because I have Philips Hue lights in here. I want to determine what's considered dark room, right? So for me, I personally like to set what the screen brightness is and not have it set to whatever the default dim setting is on here. I personally recommend you guys turn that off and manually set that, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that here in a second. Now the next thing we have here is prevent input delay, or input lag as some people say it. Now for me, there's two different modes here. You got standard and you got boost. Now I tried both of these, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, boost, I didn't really see a difference at all. And what this is gonna do is, if you're not familiar with it, it's gonna try to match the frame rate of the game to the console and to your TV, which is gonna try to make it a little bit more of a smoother gameplay. But I tried it on Call of Duty, I tried it on Horizon Zero Dawn, I tried it on God of War, tried it on a bunch of other different games, and I didn't really notice a difference. So I was like, you know what, I'd rather just keep it on standard versus trying to have my TV do a little bit extra work when it don't really need to. Moving on down here, I like to have my AI game sound turned on. Now earlier in this video, I showed you guys how to set up the 3D audio surround sound to your space within your room. So this is gonna actually help give that a little bit more of a boost out of your TV. So definitely make sure you guys turn on AI game sound for sure. Now the next two things here we got is VRR and G-Sync, and then we got AMD FreeSync Premium. Now, both of these you definitely want to turn on. Now, for some reason, LG, they decide to have this turned off by default when it comes to the AMD FreeSync Premium. I highly 100% definitely recommend you guys turn both of these on, man, because what it's gonna do is it's gonna help with like minimizing like crackling or interruptions within your screen while you guys are playing. It's mainly for games that's gonna be having a lot of like fast-paced movement and different things like that, a lot of action within these games. You don't wanna have any type of screen tearing or interruption within your screen, so you definitely wanna make sure you turn this on for both of them, because AMD FreeSync is represented on PlayStation as well as Xbox, so definitely make sure you guys turn it on for both consoles. And then moving on down here, guys, we got fine-tuned dark areas. Now this one here, I keep mine at 0 0 because this is gonna help with like fine tuning like dark areas within a game. Now for me, I've played all types of games, and you can see here on this game right here, right? If I go ahead and get rid of the menu, you can see here that the shadows on the right as well as the left sides, as well as what's on him, is highlighted pretty well, because what it's gonna do is it's gonna actually put in focus as far as the HDR. You can see all of the clouds and definitions within the sky, as well as you can see the deep black levels on the left as well as the right side, as well as on the character in himself. So for me, I felt like fine-tuned darkness is pretty good when it comes to this. So for me, I didn't really see a need to really have this actually set to anything else other than 0. So I highly recommend you just keep that at 0. And then here is where you can change the menu color. Now you can set it to violet, you can set it to orange. This is where I changed mine to orange, or you can set it to like this green, or I think it's more of like a teal color that you can have it set. But since my space and my room kind of has a little bit orange accents, I like to keep mine on the orange. Now that we got pretty much all of the game stuff set up, let's go ahead and switch on over to the picture side, which is gonna be, you know, kind of the bread and butter of everything, right? All right, so the first thing we got here, we got black stabilizer and we got white stabilizer. When it comes to the black stabilizer and the white stabilizer, I like to keep a rule of thumb of, if I change the black stabilizer, I need to also change the white stabilizer to be the exact same number. So that way I'm always keeping things balanced when it comes to the shadows, as far as the dark scenes of a game, as well as more of the highlights or the white areas or the bright scenes of the game. For me, my rule of thumb is I like to keep it anywhere between like 8 to 10. Again, if I switch this to 8, then I'll go ahead and switch this to 8 as well. So that way it's matching up on the screen and everything is kind of looking balanced. All right, so the next thing we got is adjust contrast. Now, contrast here, I keep mine somewhere around 85, somewhere between 80 to 85%, but I don't really dip too low between that because things are gonna start looking too crazy. You can see here, if I dip down to 36, you can see it just darken just way too much. I wanna make mine seem vibrant and pop a little bit more, so I keep mine somewhere between 80 to 85, or even sometimes I may bump it up to like an 88. Or something like that, but 85 is typically my rule of thumb of where I like to keep things. Moving on down here to our black levels. Now, black levels here, I like to adjust mine to somewhere around 50%, because again, the closer you guys go to 100, the lighter the screen is, and then the closer you guys go to 0, the darker your screen is gonna be. So for me, I like to keep mine at a dead even balance, right at 50, but you can bump it up to like a 55 if that's something you guys wanna do, because 55 I think is kind of a good mark as well, but I personally would not dip too high into like the 60s or anything like that. Again, keep it between 50 to 55 is a good mark of where you guys want to stay. Now, adjusting the sharpness of the screen. Now, some people, they like to keep this at 0, or they like to keep it at 5, or they like to keep it at a 10. But I do not recommend you guys go any higher than a 10, because at that point, it's going to start seeming a little artificial in my opinion. But again, some people like to keep it at 0, in which I understand, because if you keep it at 0, one of the things that's good about OLED panels is a lot of the deep blacks really help with that sharpness level, which is kind of a good thing when it comes to these screens. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the color depth. Now, the color depth, this is where it's going to be more subjective to how much saturation you guys want to add to your screen. Now, for me, I like to keep mine somewhere between like 60 to 70, but I do not go any higher than 70, because at some point, if you can see here, if I bump this up, right, you can see it starts to just seem way too just over processed and just too much saturation into the picture to where it just looks ugly. It's all gonna depend on the type of game and how much saturation you wanna add, but my rule of thumb, anywhere between 60 and 70 and you good. Now, the other thing here is dynamic tone mapping. Now, this is gonna help adjust your HDR video content to show objects that's gonna be on your screen a little bit more punchier and a little bit more vividly. So for me, highly recommend you guys turn this on, because again, if you're playing games like a God of War or an Uncharted or Horizon Zero Dawn, you're walking past a lot of objects and different things, and you're experiencing different things in the game that you wanna make sure is showing very vivid. So you definitely wanna make sure you guys turn that on. And then the last thing here we got is advanced
picture setting. Now on here is gonna take you to the advanced setting tab. Now this is where I was telling you guys you're gonna be able to adjust the brightness levels. Now, for the sake of this video, I have mine set to 17, but that's only because my camera needs to be able to see the screen, so you can't have it too bright. But I do not put it on 17, y'all. I put mine at least somewhere around like 90 or 95, just because I want that bright screen that you can get. So this is where you're gonna be able to adjust the brightness levels of it. Now, another cool thing that you can do is you can also set your input. So you can apply all of these settings that I just showed you guys to every single input on the TV. So let's say you got an Xbox and you made all the adjustments there, but you also got a PlayStation as well, then you can go ahead and just apply all to inputs, and then you're gonna be good to go, and you don't have to go all the way back through this and set it individually for that console, which is really dope. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the settings that you guys need to do on your TV.
Alright, so there you pretty much have it, y'all. Every detail setting that you need for gaming, whether you're playing games like Call of Duty, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Fortnite, or whatever game that you like to play, you now are set up, man. There's no excuses why you shouldn't be out there kicking butt, getting dubs, and all of that out there. But if you guys enjoyed this video, man, then you already know what to do. Hit that like button right now. And if you guys are new to the channel and you like the content that you saw, then go ahead and click on that subscribe button, man. Join the fam, join the squad over here. That way you guys can say you was following your boy when I was under 100K subs, man, because I promise you, I will always remember my day ones, man. I appreciate you guys for watching. Check out some of the tips and tricks that you can do with this LG C2 TV here behind me that you didn't even know existed. You can see it all in this video right here, man. See y'all over there, squad.